The parent of a Wolfson, a Wolfson High School student say their son was gunned down in cold blood, all because the music he and some friends were listening to in an SUV was too loud.
We're digging deeper tonight into a wrongful death lawsuit just filed by the family against the 17-year-old's accused killer. Jordan Davis was fatally wounded the night after Thanksgiving at a Southside gas station. 45-year-old Michael Dunn from Brevard County is charged with murder in Davis's death, but Dunn says he fired in self-defense because he says he saw the barrel of a shotgun in the SUV. Joining us now from our newsroom is local attorney Gene Nichols. Gene, how unusual is it for the family of a homicide victim to sue the accused killer before the defendant stands trial?
Well, Tom, it's very interesting for it to be filed this quickly. As we know, we haven't gotten anywhere in the criminal case yet. However, because there's a statute of limitations at play, we know that John Phillips, who has filed this complaint on behalf of the Davis family, needed to go ahead and file something. So for that reason, he has gone ahead and filed his complaint. But it is absolutely different. I guess it's odd to see it filed so quickly, but John has written a well-reasoned complaint in order to challenge multiple issues, including a wrongful death claim as well as a defamation claim.
Jane, their complaint cites negligence resulting in wrongful death, the gross infliction of emotional distress both on Davis himself and on the parents, but also claims defamation based on public statements by defense attorneys. What is your take on those allegations?
Well, Tom, I can tell you the wrongful death claim, clearly based upon the facts that we have, is a well-reasoned claim. The defamation claim is a very interesting claim. John is a very bright lawyer, and he's come up with some very interesting allegations. They're going to be difficult to prove. At this point in time, for a defamation claim to last, we know that the allegations that have been brought here are regarding the statements that, not that Dunn made, but that Dunn's lawyer made. So Mr. Phillips is trying to allege that based upon what Dunn's lawyer said, that his client has a claim. It's going to be a very interesting claim to bring. It's going to be a difficult claim to bring based upon what a lawyer said, not necessarily what the defendant said.
Now, if Dunn wins to stand your ground defense or is acquitted at trial, would that make it much more difficult for the Davis family to win this civil suit?
Well, there's no question when it comes to a wrongful death claim, if a jury or if a judge were to throw out the case or a jury were to decide he was not guilty, then it would make it more difficult. We have seen in the past, O.J. Simpson is a perfect example, that you can receive a not guilty but still get sued and still lose a lawsuit. It will have an impact, but at this stage it's way too early to tell how much of an impact it would have.
If Dunn is convicted and the lawsuit is ultimately successful, what then would be the family's hope of actually collecting damages from him?
Well, Tom, the first question is going to be, which I'm sure John Phillips already knows, is whether or not Dunn has any insurance. In several situations such as this, an individual may have an umbrella policy that would cover such a claim. Now, if he is found liable, and if he's found liable of an intentional act, most insurance coverage would not cover an intentional act. If he is found liable for a negligent act, then possibly an insurance company would have to pay a claim such as this. But at this time, if there's not a policy in place and Dunn doesn't have the finances in order to pay a claim, it's questionable whether or not the Davis family could ever recover a dime.
If there is a trial, what is your best guess at this point, Gene, when that trial might be?
Tom, I would say that Ms. Corey's office will do everything they can, as well as the court, to have a trial this year. Of course, with all of the witnesses who are involved, with all the officers who have been involved, it's going to take an extensive amount of work to make sure it's ready before the end of the year. But I am sure that the court system will do everything they can to have a resolution at least within the year. And then at that point in time, once we get there, Mr. Phillips will be able to pursue his civil claim against Mr. Dunn.
Gene Nichols joining us from our newsroom. Thank you very much, Gene, for coming in tonight. Michael Dunn's next court appearance is scheduled for February 6th.